Hi friends, today we are doing a revisit to this SPES AP Light 350N Plus Edition jacket. I did an unboxing of it and I have now used it probably 6 times and have a pretty good feel for how it's going to go. So in this video I'm going to give you my thoughts on it after practice, and I'm going to tell you about these elbow protectors, and we're also going to see what it's like to wash this jacket. We're going to do a little before and after. So I'm curious to see how it will respond to a wash, considering I've seen a whole bunch of different information about that. So first things first, I'm Del. I am new to practicing HEMA. So this is kind of a joining me on the journey rather than from the stance of an expert style YouTube. I have now done 8 classes in a kind of formal learning environment, along with lots of informal practice on my own. And I have to say, it's been wonderful. Having a club that does regular classes with a really great teacher is pretty magical, and I feel very lucky about it. If you have any ability to go to a class near you, if you're considering it and are not sure if it's worth it, yeah, it's worth it. Not only is it worth it from a learning perspective, which is fantastic. There are things like when you're doing moves and you're practicing them, that if you're doing it yourself, it's really hard, even with video, to get perspective. If you're taking video of yourself, that a teacher can come in the moment, like readjust the angles of the sword or put your hands in the right position. It reminds you of these things that are very hard to really know because there's just so much to learn. So if you're fortunate enough to live near a club, this is my plug to really do it because the learning is incredible. It's also a great social environment. You meet like-minded people that are into this pretty nerdy pursuit. And surprise, a lot of them are great, and it can be really cool to spend time with them. And so just highly, highly recommend it. Not just for you, because largely, yeah, it's great for you, and that's why perhaps you should decide to do it. But also, if you have access to a club and you don't go and membership drops, maybe that club disappears and then you lose access forever, maybe, I don't know. Like, what club can persist without members? So if you have the ability to go, supporting that club helps keep it alive and let other people join it. And it creates this beautiful golden cycle. Anyways, about the jacket, I am 5'9", 175 pounds, about a 40-inch chest. This is a size medium. I wear a medium in basically everything. I wear a medium in this jacket. In the first video I did about this, there was kind of question about effectiveness of the protective nature of this jacket and how is it for heat control. I've been hit a few times in the front padded zone and at sparring speeds that are respectful but not trying to kill each other, and it went fine. I actually had 0 bruises. I've gotten no bruises from practice, even when getting struck on here. I did add something to this jacket since I did the video, which are these hard economy elbow protectors from Heart Armoury. So when it comes to protecting the elbows, this jacket doesn't do it. So if you're sparring or drilling and doing any maneuvers that strike at the arms or the side of the body that could involve the elbows, you really want to get these because it protects your elbows, but it also allows your sparring partner to really commit to the technique instead of having to hold back. And so a note about attaching these: if you have this particular jacket, the Plus version of the AP Light 350N jacket has these 2 anchor points on the elbow. After finding that there were no instructions with it, which is kind of funny, and no videos that I could find on how to attach it. It's really straightforward. There's an interior strap, okay, and a little tie that comes. It's already tied on whenever you get it. You unlace this this tie here. You tie it through the lower of the 2 anchor points, or I did because that's what worked for my elbow position. Once it's tied on, you put the jacket on, and then you simply strap the Velcro on, and you're done. And so this is what it looks like, and apologies if this causes a muffling. When you put it on, it's a little tight around the elbow. Once you get it past, you're good. And then look, ta-da, you're protected. And I've definitely been hit on this elbow protector. It definitely makes a really loud noise whenever you whack it. Now for my gloves, I have the sparring glove, which has a kind of longer forearm guard. I did not buy separate forearm guards, but I would have if I didn't. If you get forearm guards, that's what this strap is for. This Velcro connects them together, the elbow to the forearm guard if you have them in separate pieces. If you don't need it, you can literally just fold this up and press it, and it will hold itself in place. Amazing. So added the elbow guards, totally worth it. It was like 20 bucks or something like that. You could get the SPES ones, also sold at Purple Heart Armoury if you're in the USA. And they're shinier, but the shape and functionality is very similar. The SPES ones are a little prettier because they're shinier, if that matters to you. They were out of stock when I was buying, and it didn't make much difference to me, so I got these. So that's the only modification I've made to the jacket, and it's totally worth, because I have definitely been hit on that elbow, and it doesn't hurt at all with this protector. So protection-wise, it's been great. I've never been hit on the back while wearing this jacket. I think when you're sparring, you really don't want to present your back to your opponent, so it's really rare. And a note about protection that kind of came up in the previous video's comments, which is someone bought the armor expecting it, bought the jacket expecting it to be armor. It's not armor. It's not intended to be armor. It won't protect you like armor. It is really the last line of defense for protection when you're doing drills and sparring. Because really, when you're at practice, it's people are most likely to hit their swords against each other. And if they're not hitting swords, the next most common targets are the head and the hands, which you should have really good protection on those. And if you'll notice, those things are really built up and armor-like in a way that this jacket is not. And the reason for that is it's a practice tool. It is not a 100% protective garment. I will say, when people do tournament play or tournament competition, generally here in the States at least, excuse me, tournaments require a hard chest protection underneath your jacket to help offset that. But even then, the most commonly hit things are not the jacket, are not the body. Hands, helmet, and sword are really the most common. And there's like a philosophical thing here, but it's pretty straightforward, which is, one, the cost for everyone to have that super protective garment would be really high, and HEMA is already an expensive hobby. This is almost a $300 jacket. If you add the elbow protection, that was another 20-ish bucks, so that is 300 plus. If you added forearm protection, that would be even more, maybe $350 total with all the added costs just for the jacket. That's expensive. So there's a cost component. There's also a heat component, and this gets into this second kind of part of this. Whenever my first unboxing video, of course, I had not practiced in the jacket. I just wore it on a cool day. And you still when you're fully kitted out for sparring, you're wearing helmet, gorget, head protector. That right there traps in a lot of heat. Add on a jacket and gloves, and your entire upper body is retaining a lot of heat. And so once you start moving around and your body is engaged and moving through these different motions and your muscles are heating up and using energy, man, it still gets hot in there. And this is considered a high ventilation jacket. So if you were regularly practicing for hours in a fully protective armor, it could be really stifling. There's a lot of layers involved there. You're wearing a padded shirt and all this stuff underneath, and then you got the whole kit and caboodle on top. If we're trying just to practice and enjoy ourselves at a cost-efficient price point and with really good mitigation for the most common types of strikes so that you can get through practice without serious injury or often not even any bruises, then this kind of jacket is fantastic. It's great. It's been wonderful. I've had a very good experience with it these I don't know, 6 times that I've worn it in class and when I've been practicing outside of class. So the next thing about wearing this jacket, and we're talking about heat and sweat, is after class, we have a alcohol and water mixture that we spray inside all of our garments to help mitigate sweat and stink and BO odors. That being said, I have not washed it yet. And I have a bad sense of smell. I often can't smell stuff, and even I can smell that there's a BO smell in there. So next step is I'm gonna take the pad out, which I'll show you. It's actually straightforward, and I'm gonna have to do it anyways. There's a little gateway here at the bottom, and you can pull the padding out. Oof, oh, here it comes. Don't wanna destroy it. Come on out, friend. This is what's inside there, okay? As you can see, it is well shaped. Oh, did I go upside down? It is well shaped for the panel. Ta-da! This is inside of here. And this, along with the cloth, is what's providing the protective nature. It's nothing too fancy, but there it is. We take that out of both sides, and then these instructions actually call for, if you can read them, I've seen people say that they're putting this in the dryer, the washer in the dryer, or a washer and then hanging. I'm going to aim for a hand wash, and we're gonna see how it goes. All right, so we are post-wash on the jacket. Ta-da! I did follow the instructions pretty much. So I removed the pads, and don't forget, there are pads in the shoulders that you need to remove, and took the elbow protection off. I washed it in the tub with some gentle detergent. I rinsed it in the tub to try to get as much out as I could. I then also put it through a rinse and spin cycle only with cold water in my washing machine. And it came out mostly dry, and it helped me be sure that I got all the soap out, which was helpful because this material was like sort of like a sponge. It was taking a little bit of time to get that soap out. So if you're looking to speed up that process, putting it through a rinse and spin cycle, cold water in your washing machine was effective for me. Let it hang dry by the next day, completely dry. So material dried out really quickly. What I'm about to do is show how putting the elbow protection on works. I discussed it in the first part of this video, but I thought it would be helpful just to demonstrate it here. So we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna put the jacket on, see how it feels post-wash and drip dry. So here is our anchor point set up on the elbow, and this is the interior of the protective elbow cover. You see it has these little holes here, which I'm trying to demonstrate. One here, and then one that has the thread going through it. It's really simple, although a little tedious. You have to take the cuff, and remember that the correct orientation is with this strap, the longer curvier side pointing downwards. You just loop it through, and in my case I found that the lower anchor point was better. Pass it through there. You have this extra material. This is the annoying part. You gotta force it back through this little hole. And it's the tip of this material is like, does it want to go through? Does it not? I found that just kind of twirling this gets those little elastic bits on the end to all cooperate and go through by twisting it. And then this we want to make as tight as we can. So here we go, tighten up. I don't know if there's a best knot for this. I'm just going to do a square knot. And then whatever I can do to get this excess string, I'm just going to kind of tie it in on itself. I don't want to cut it yet, although cutting it may very well be the best option long term. We're just gonna, little bow tie situation. There we go, fine. Ta-da. It's an elastic string, you know. It's not something that really wants to make knots. So we're forcing it to be slightly against its nature here, aren't we? Tighten, please. There we go. Okay, so that's on. Now I've already worn this and I'm familiar with the level of tightness that I wanted. It was fine just doing it essentially as tight as could be arranged with full coverage on this Velcro strip to the end. So placing it here and flattening it out. And there you go. We have attached our hard protective cover. I'm gonna do the same on the other side, and then we'll see what the jacket looks and feels like on after it's washed. All right, y'all, so let us put this jacket on real quick. I might have to readjust the mic as we go, but full size picture of it. I got elbow protectors on both sides. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. It's possible I may have made these elbow straps too tight. Oh, I'm feeling it. So let's just undo that. Pull it past. On we go. Okay, let's see how the other one feels. Thought I had it down pat, but I was wrong. Also a little tight. I'll readjust you guys. There we go. All right, so there we have it. It's been washed. No real appreciable shrinkage. No binding or anything like that. Perhaps a very slight lightening of the color. The the water, whenever I washed it, it did get a certain kind of murky grayness to it. So I don't know how much of that was just the sweat coming out and how much of that was perhaps a little bit of the dye coming out. So I'd be curious with a bunch of washes how the color holds up. I don't really know. Honestly, don't care. I like the way that things look when they fade. I mean, heck, I'm wearing jeans. I love fades. So, so that concludes the washing portion. Overall, it's been a great jacket for practice. Had to make the addition of these elbow guards to go along with the forearm protection that my gloves grant. And it's been great so far. If you have any questions about my experience with this SPES AP Light 350N Plus edition, hit me up, and thank you for joining me as we went through our little review.